G'day there guys, Marky here, and welcome back to another episode of r/relationship advice. I do hope you enjoyed today's episode. Now sit back, relax, chuck a prawn to the barbie, let's get right into it. Posted by user Walker123, titled, Am I the asshole for refusing to let my parents put a tracker on my phone? So for context, my 28 female life has not turned out the way that I wanted it to. I still live at home with my parents who are extremely controlling. All my friends have left the country, and so I'm on my own a lot. Most of my time is spent at home, at work, or going on solo walks. I don't drink, I don't go to gym or play sports anymore. I don't have hobbies outside the house. I haven't dated anyone for 7 years. All in all, a very uninteresting life. My one solace is being outdoors in nature and walking. My parents aren't happy with this. They think women shouldn't go on walks by themselves as it's dangerous, in their words. I know it would be better to ease their concerns if I had someone to go on walks with, but I don't. My mum has been trying to get me to put share my location on my phone with her for years. I understand that she worries about my safety. However, the big problem for me is I know it's not just about my safety. She'll use it to become my stalker. I know this because she has my dad share his location with her, and vice versa. She sits and stares at her screen and will say things like, "Oh, your father has just left tennis. Oh, your father has just arrived at work. Oh, your father is leaving the pub." Not that I have anything to hide, but it's the one boundary I've held on to, and I've been so proud of myself for not caving. Today's events. Today I decided to take a trip up the coast and go for a walk along the sea. I told my parents about my plans at 10:30, and my mum asked that I call and keep in touch. Once I got there, 2 p.m., I called her and told her where I was. I also told her what walk and route I would be taking. I didn't tell her when I would be home, but she also didn't ask. I also didn't message to say that I was on my way home. My parents were furious when I arrived back at 8 p.m. My dad told me that I no longer had a say and that it was mandatory for me to have a tracker on my phone. I told him that I had done everything asked of me. I had called, explained where I was going, etc. I also said they could have called me if they were concerned about my whereabouts. So as a result, I've been punished. The car that I drive is technically my dad's, and so he has taken the keys away. He says that I can buy my own car or grant them access to my tracking information. They said they would never do this to me. Hold the fact they bought the car over my head. Also, it makes no sense for me to buy a new car now. I'm at the final stage of a graduate recruitment process, and if I'm successful, I'll be moving to London in September. However, I need to survive between now and then, and without a car, the little life I have is impossible. So am I the asshole for refusing to let them put a tracker on my phone when their concern is my safety? Edit, my dad hasn't told me that he has taken the keys. I have a work event today, day after post, and he plans for me not to find them when I need to go. OP has offered the following explanation for why they think they might be the asshole. 1. I refuse to let my parents put a tracker on my phone. 2. I may be the asshole because I didn't tell them when I would be home or inform them when I was on my way home, which made them worry. I was out of contact for 6 hours. The car is also technically not mine, and so I don't have any right to drive it. It is theirs to take away, and I have no right to complain. I'm going to go with not the asshole for this one, and probably take as many precautions as you can to make sure that if you do get this position in September to go to London, they don't try to sabotage that as well, or stick trackers on you. 'Cause Lord knows your mum would love to sticky beak her way into your life while you're in London. If she's doing that with your dad right now, absolutely that is a possibility. I don't think you're an asshole for what you have done in this instance, but I can see why you would question yourself when this lifestyle is made to appear normal from your perspective because you've been around it for so long. But yeah, not the asshole. In the comments, Crim Penguin says, not the asshole, but your parents are toxic as hell. You may need to put up with this until you leave just so that you can have some semblance of a life. Once you're out, turn it off and consider going no contact with them. It might feel awful, but it could very well be necessary. OP replies, I'm in my bedroom with my door closed, and my dad just walked past and said, stupid beer, at my door. Trying not to cry that my wonderful day has been ruined. It does feel toxic. Dude, that is so effed up. Can you stay in a short-term rental or something until September? Wishing you a smooth escape. It is. 3 months and you never need to see or speak to them again if you so choose though. Less if you can find a short-term let that you can afford. Can you find lodging somewhere? Lodgers tend not to pay so much rent. Can you use public transport? OP replies, yes I can, but the public transport system here is not very good. My work is a 10-minute drive away, but via public transport it would take me an hour. I do work from home most days though, so that's something. I could also go to parks that are within walking distance for some outdoors. Do you pay to live there? And OP says, I only pay a nominal amount of £200 a month as per my dad's request. I do feel guilty about it as I know people normally give a lot more than that. Does your dad know that your mum stalks him? And OP says, yes he does and doesn't seem to mind. Do they pay for your phone? OP replies, they don't pay for my phone, though the car is theirs. Unfortunately, the car I bought had an engine failure. I just couldn't afford to buy another car, so this was the compromise solution. I'd actually been considering asking to buy the car from them, but it now seems silly, especially with the London move potentially happening and this drama. Mordecai Fathom says, not the arsehole, but you realize you're living in an abusive environment, right? You're also almost 30, and they treat you like a 12-year-old. I had to go back and read your age again. You really need to move out now. Oh boy, my wife was maybe 23, 25, until she was able to glimpse what was going wrong at home, and then it took another 80 years to somewhat break free from it. Sometimes you don't see the forest for the trees. Or better said, when you were manipulated half your life, you don't even see it anymore. Tracking and surveillance above age 20? Yeah, nah. Just get a cheap car, or one you can resell easily later. That's what my cousin did when he was a couple of months overseas. Update. Things were very frosty the next couple of days. My mum eventually came to me and said that she was going to address the elephant in the room. She said she was very disappointed in me, but as I didn't care about her, she will just have to live without it. The tracker on my phone. I think she expected me to cave at that point, but I didn't. I said thank you for understanding, and that was it. The car keys were returned to the drawer, and nothing more was said about it from anyone, including my dad. To this day, I have no idea why the 180-degree flip happened. Although, you all helped me realize that I have an unhealthy, codependent relationship with my parents, I think it will just take time to set boundaries and learn how to be my own person. I still love them a lot, and I know they love me too, even though we aren't the type of family that says so. Which leads me to my other news. I got the job in London. I have officially moved out and am living there now. It still feels surreal. I know it's going to take some time to get used to living independently, but I'm ready to be my own person and to learn how to do things on my own. Honestly, I had given up hope that this day would ever come. I feel so much happier and can genuinely say I am proud of myself. If anyone has any tips for living away from home for the first time, please let me know. And finally, thank you for all your support and giving me the push I needed. I was in a very dark place and now feel like I can start living my life. Thank you. Small edit. People are asking about the car, / asking me to check it for trackers. To clarify, I didn't bring the car with me, so I can't check it. Probably for the best. In the comments, someone says, put your parents on an information diet. And OP says, so I'm struggling with the information diet thing. I am so used to calling my mum multiple times a day about anything and everything. It feels like it's a habit, and weird not to call them. So that's on me. I need to be learned to be able to go longer without talking to them and not telling them everything about everything. But I'm finding that hard right now. That 180-degree flip probably happened because you stood your ground. OP says, thank you. It really was hard to stand my ground. I do think that this is what happened. Not that they put a tracker elsewhere, as they aren't that tech-savvy. Especially my mum. You said you have a codependent relationship with your parents, but don't downplay their toxicity. They are manipulative and weren't treating you well. And OP says, it does look bad when written out like this, to be honest. I guess I'm just used to it. Uniputif says, man, that is very suspicious. Check those car keys, check your car, and check anything and everything you carry around with you on a daily basis. Tracker apps on phones aren't the only kinds of tracking that's possible. Physical ones are small enough now to be added into a whole ton of things. Congrats on the job, the move, and standing up for yourself. Best wishes for continued success and growth in your life. Player Yaya Ding Dong says, "This is nuts. OP's almost 30? I didn't read the original post, but best of luck." I wonder what OP's ethnicity is. In some cultures, even if you live in a Western country, it's typical to live with your parents until you're married, if you're a woman, and parents will continue to be overbearing long into adulthood and justify it because they are your parents and elders. Wow, the hold these people have over OP is intense. I hope she can claw her way to freedom and independence without too harsh of a struggle. It's just so weird when your worldview shifts. A fundamental change in perception. It's big. OP will get there, slowly, now that they've moved out. The idea of putting trackers in their children's car, phone, and so on is honestly pretty creepy. It perfectly demonstrates that they are controlling and more likely wanting to hold OP forever. It's honestly creepy and scary that people put trackers to always follow you and all. I hope OP is able to have her freedom and move away from her controlling parents. The deal that I have with my daughters, teenagers under 18, is that they turn on location sharing when they're in the city and in an unfamiliar place or coming home after dark. Basically, share your location if you're in a place where you want me to be able to track you. The rest of the time, just text me where you're off to. I don't check though, and since it's on a system, they could tell me that they're at their mates and then go to their boyfriends or whatnot. Only times I ever checked was when one was way late coming back, and when there was a horrible car crash involving young people and she wasn't answering. Put it on Do Not Disturb for the movie. Our next post is a story that I have covered before, but there's a bunch of new updates. Posted by user Young Dad Sucks, titled, "I, 16 male, have a 4-month-old daughter. Ex-girlfriend wants to go to college and I'm worried." So before anyone says anything, yes, I knew about condoms, I was just dumb. Story time. My parents divorced when I was 10, but lived primarily with my mom. Tiffany's 16, parents are together. When our parents found out she was pregnant, her parents kicked her out, and my mum kicked me out, so we now live with my dad. During the pregnancy, my dad took my mum to court and got primary sole custody. I know what this means because I had to go to court for my daughter. He sued Tiffany's parents for legal guardianship, and they now pay child support for her, and they are pissed and refuse to talk to us. I'm in my bedroom, and my daughter is in her bedroom, and my ex is in the guest room that is now hers. My dad made a deal with us. We live with him until we're 18, with no rent payment. But at 18, we need to decide what it is that we do. I wasn't really good in school, and Tiffany is an A student. So I took my GED, and my dad got me into welding school. I finish in 2 months. I also work full-time, so I do welding school at night. Tiffany goes to school and works on the weekends at Wendy's. This whole thing is a huge ordeal. We literally have no life. My dad helps, but not that much, because he feels it's our responsibility, which I agree, but it still sucks. I work 6 a.m. to 3 p.m. at a warehouse and go to school from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. Tiffany is home by 2:30 and picks up our daughter from daycare. We help each other a lot, and then I head off to school and she stays with her at home until I get home and do it all over again, day after day. When our daughter was born, my dad made us go to court. We have 50-50 custody, and I don't pay child support because she lives with us. Because I work full-time, I can get healthcare for my daughter and myself, and that sucks that it costs me $300 a month, and daycare is $400 a week. Literally, Tiffany works just so we can pay for daycare, and I pay for everything else. When we are short for cash, my dad will help because he sees that we are trying. My dad has been our rock. When we are tired and exhausted, he will step in and give us a break here and there, but he makes sure that we have everything we need and keeps us motivated. Tiffany wants to apply to college soon, and I'm worried because I don't want to keep living with her, and I don't think I can keep our daughter full-time as a welder working 12-hour shifts. But she says she will start at community college and work, but wants to stay with us living together since it's easier. Since I will be working, and it will be best for us to stay with my dad. But my dad said at 18 we have to pay rent. She doesn't mind, but I don't want to keep living with her because we aren't together. I'm unsure how to tell her this. My dad thinks that she should stay with us as long as she is a full-time student to finish her degree because I'm already getting my career. I just feel that all of this is unfair because the burden is on me. I guess I'm ranting because I'm scared and unsure of what this all means. Edit, I guess my thing about her living with us is that we are more like siblings now. We get along and joke and stuff, but since she's my ex, I feel weirded out by it. Maybe I need to take a breather since everyone is saying it's a good thing. Also, I needed to hear it from other people, and not just my dad, and he is pretty solid and I should thank him maybe, and take him out for dinner or something. Update. I don't know why I feel like I need to update, but here goes. Tiff and my dad went to school and were able to get her enrolled in college courses because of her grades. She won't graduate high school way too fast, but she will have enough to finish high school hours by next December, so 6 months early. She reapplied for assistance and we got a voucher for daycare, so now it's $50 a week. She quit her job so she can focus on school, but she doesn't start college until spring, so that's cool, it gives her some time. She still wants to be a nurse, so that's cool too. I got a new job that pays more as a forklift operator and will give me an internship for welding, which I won't be able to start until November/December until I finish my classes, and then I have to do a 2-month internship. But they're paying me really good. I started Monday. My dad and I had a long talk about my fears, and he reassured me that it's okay to be scared, but we have a game plan. He's fixing up the basement to make 2 bedrooms and a living room like a little apartment because he said Tiff and I will need space as we grow. He wants me to buy the house when I'm like 18, like he did with his parents, and he will help me pay it as long as Tiff gets to stay until she finishes college and let her make her own choice. We all agreed this is the best option, and we're all really much happier now. I guess I just needed to let it out. Tiff and I are great while being parents is hard, but it's been good now that we feel a bit more secure. My mum and Tiff's parents still haven't spoken to us because we aren't married, which does make me sad, but it's okay, we have my dad. Tiff's grandparents bought her a car and said that's all they can do for her and not to contact them again until we are married. The car needs some work, but I'm going to pay for it to fix it up. It needs brakes, suspension, and some regular maintenance. My dad finally told me all what happened, and I didn't know, but it made me open my eyes to all of this. My dad met my mum in high school too, and they were together and got caught kissing. Since my mum's family are Baptist, they forced my dad to marry her. I didn't know in Missouri parents can force their kids to marry at 15, which is why my dad has been so protective. They were going to marry Tiff and I because she was pregnant, and when my dad stepped in, they couldn't do it. My mum and Tiff's dad went and got a license for us and were going to marry us in their church. I guess I wouldn't have minded marrying Tiff, but I would rather do it later. But yeah, that's why they aren't talking to us. My dad did say that if that happened, he would help us get it annulled, but we have no intentions of speaking to them right now. He explained that Tiff is stuck, and while I might be afraid, she is even more afraid because she has no one, and I need to reassure her we are here for her as a family. I guess I couldn't see it that way, and it's good that I talked to him. I hugged my dad, and I've been hugging him every day now, and it's nice. It's made us closer. All of this information made me pretty sad and grateful at the same time, and it helped Tiff and I really start talking more. Like, we talked, but we didn't talk, and I didn't know she was scared too. We are now doing days for us to be kids, as my dad says. So we now hang out with our friends who still talk to us at least once a week, and Tiff and I do a lot of stuff on weekends now that she doesn't work, like taking Jelly to the park and going for walks, and we did a pumpkin patch. Jelly seems to be happier too, and Tiff doesn't seem as tired anymore. Anyway, thanks everyone for the help, tips, and encouragement. I doubt I will update again and just lurk for parenting advice. Edit, just want to say thanks for thinking I'm a great dad, but I don't believe it just yet. I depend a lot on my dad to help me. Tiff and I are trying. We do take parenting classes. They offer us a lot of advice, and we have made some friends there, which is nice. But I don't think that we would be this prepared without my dad. Also, Tiff is on WIC, and we take parenting and co-parenting classes as it's my dad's rules. And in a comment, OP says, "Holy crap guys, I finally logged into Reddit and had tons of messages, and I found this post. I honestly just didn't expect this. I might as well make an update. Well, Tiff and I are 18 now. I first made my post 2 years ago, and Jelly is 2 years old as well. My dad is doing really good now. He finally has a girlfriend, and of course he met her at Tiff's community college. She's an admissions counselor. Tiff is in CC for nursing and killing it. She will have her associates in nursing and then head over for her bachelor's at some point. But yeah, she's doing really good. I'm a welder now, and I make pretty good money. Tiff and I are back together. We started dating again this New Year's, and she kissed me, and it just felt right. But she made it very clear that we are dating, so she is in the basement, which we fixed up, and I'm in my room upstairs, and she makes me text her if it's okay to come over. It's just a funny thing we do. And yeah, I am going to marry her. We go to family counseling 4 times a month, 2 weeks virtual, and 2 weeks in office because of our schedule. We found that this helps us. It's like couples counseling, but not. I am not the best communicator, and this has helped me with stressful times with Tiff and Jelly. I feel like I aged the past 2 years. I definitely don't feel 18. I feel a bit older. Jelly is the most happiest kid, and she literally lights up a room, and I honestly just can't imagine not being in her life every second of the day. She loves Pa, that's what she calls my dad. She has him wrapped around his finger, he literally spoils her all the time. I really love being a dad to her. I love taking naps with her, and how she is just a daddy's girl. She literally is my shadow. It drives Tiff crazy, but she is also really happy. We do go out on dates to like dinner and movies. Sometimes we just sit in the car and talk and laugh, but mostly laugh. My dad has changed a lot, and us 4 are really, really close. He is so much happier, and I think his girlfriend makes him happy, like made him alive again. He's always doing some weird teaching moments, like if Tiff is irritated and walks away, he will just say, "Well, an irritated woman tends to shop to get her mind off things. Can you afford that?" Lol, so yeah, he's constantly with his little comments. I haven't spoken to my mother at all, and I have no intentions of doing so. Tiff's parents did come back and try to build a relationship with her, but they always made her feel like shit, so she cut contact with them. My dad still wants to buy us the house, and I told him we have no plans of ever moving out. So I told him I will buy the house when either I am 30 or when Tiff and I get married, and she said not until she graduates and gets a job. So no wedding bells for at least another 2 years. If you ask Tiff, she says she doesn't plan on getting married until she's 28, so it might be longer. He, Dad, explained that Tiff is stuck, while I might be afraid that she is even more afraid because she has no one, and I need to reassure her we are here for her as a family. Most excellent dad. To be honest, this was the statement that made me wake up. At this time, I just saw everything as a burden. I lived off of adrenaline, and honestly, the moment she said she was pregnant until I made that post, everything was a blur. I was scared and just really confused about life. I was tired and I couldn't think. Everything was a fog. Tiff and I talked about how regardless of whatever happens in our future, she is my family and we are a family. Being 16, I wanted to just be with my family. My mom walked away and it was just me and my dad and a baby and now a girlfriend. I know that sounds selfish, but that's how I was thinking and really overwhelmed. With therapy and my dad, it really helped me. I wouldn't say get over, but really find my own voice and be myself and actually use my words. I just bottled everything in, and when my dad said that, it really did break through to me. And our final update is titled, "My dad's girlfriend is pregnant, my dad doesn't know, and she doesn't know that he's going to propose, and I'm so happy, and I need to get it off my chest before I explode and accidentally tell them." My dad, 38, has been trusting me not to spill the beans that he's going to propose to his girlfriend, 33, let's call her Kay, on his birthday in 2 weeks. I helped pick up the ring when it was ready and have been hiding it for a month. But Kay spent the weekend with us and was acting very moody. I don't want to make it sound bad because it's not, but she usually is an early riser and very bubbly, but this weekend she seemed very tired and different. I heard my dad yell down to the basement, "We'll be back," and I yelled back, "Okay." I went upstairs to get some snacks out of boredom and went into the guest bathroom not thinking about anything about the door being closed, and she was there staring at a pregnancy test. We locked eyes, and I immediately shut the door. I waited for her to come out or say something, but then I heard her crying, and I knocked and opened the door, and she looked at me and said she's pregnant and started sobbing. My first reaction was to yell for joy, and then reality hit. I am 18, and my dad will be starting over, and I have a daughter, and my dad is a grandpa already. She asked me to keep it a secret, and she believes she is about 9 weeks pregnant. She would have to check, but yeah. I'm finally going to be a big brother. I can't tell him, and I can't tell her of the all-around great news. I told her to wait until his birthday because he would love it. I know my dad. He's going to be ecstatic. Probably scared, yeah, but definitely excited. My dad has helped me become a pretty good father and even a good partner to my girlfriend. He's an awesome dad and grandpa. Now we both get to be dads together. I can't wait to tell him. Did you check the baby's diaper? Lol. Sorry, had to get this off my chest. I can't tell my girlfriend, my dad, or my future stepmom. Edit. Let's clear the air. She is happy to be pregnant and overwhelmed. She was sobbing because she didn't think that it could happen because she was with her ex for 6 years and never got pregnant. Also, yes, I am 18, almost 19, with a 2.5-year-old daughter, and my girlfriend and I live in the basement of my dad's house. Update. I survived dinner, and Kay brought up a baby, and my dad laughed, saying, "Oh man, that would be awesome, but it's not in our cards." This is because Kay believed that she couldn't have babies, and mentioned maybe adoption or more grandkids. Side note, he will have to wait a long time for more grandkids. I learned my lesson. We discussed my dad's birthday, and Kay's mom is going to make his favorite dish, enchiladas. And it's going to be at the house after we convince my dad to have a small party with Kay's parents and siblings, us, and a few of his close friends. She thinks that she's going to surprise him, and he thinks that he won by having her family there. I feel like this is going so well, and I will update everyone when it happens, but I do appreciate the forum to express myself. I am not on Reddit very often, as I'm switching from 410s to second shift, and in training on second shift stuff. And that is amazing news, OP. I do hope that this goes well. It does sound that everything is looking up for you after such a tragic start, and almost being forced into marriage with her. Jesus. I raise a glass to you, OP, and I hope that the good news keeps coming. Here's hoping. But anyway, guys, that is where I'm going to end today's episode. I do hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.